The Denver Broncos looked like they were flying high and looked like they were going to roll on into the Super Bowl this past year. Had a big win in the AFC divisional round, and then it came out Bo Nix had a broken ankle, and then they proceeded to not be able to put up any offense against the Patriots, and that's how their season came to an end. But I think a lot of people do have this Broncos team pegged to really, I think, repeat a lot of the success they had this past year. And I do too. I think they'll be pretty good, but that's why we are going to rebuild them here. It's not really a rebuild, but it is kind of, you get what I'm saying. I mean, this team doesn't really need to be rebuilt. It's already pretty good, actually. I mean, this is not right, but there we go. Bo Nix, 81 overall. He had a pretty decent second year, I would say. It's been a really, pretty good quarterback, or he's been a good quarterback, I would say. He's been good for the Broncos, been exactly what they need. 25 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, 29 and 12 his first year. He's been good, right? He has been good. No need to go wild with anything like that. Just he's been good, solid quarterback, exactly what this team needs. Maybe this team could use maybe a little bit more help at the receiving position, right? Cortland Sutton getting up there in age, so maybe you got to get a little bit younger there. Get a second guy in there who can eventually kind of be that number one and then get a two. Evan Ingram was very good for the Broncos, I feel, this past season. He's 31, so that is going to be something that we're going to have to look to eventually, I think, replacing that tight end and, getting better at that position. Offensive line is pretty solid, I would say. It's okay. Left tackle might need some help there. Have to find someone there. I feel like this isn't right, but whatever. And then we take a look here. Nick Bonito. He is a young edge rusher here. Take a look at his stats and, good season. 14 sacks for him, 13 and a half the year before. He has slowly come on, has been a very good edge rusher for this Broncos team. And the Broncos seem to always be able to find these sorts of guys. And yeah, Jonathan Cooper, who we do have some experience with, he's been pretty good. Defensive line is pretty solid here. I think they got a pretty free player from the Jets here from Franklin Myers, Jonathan Franklin Myers, who I'm not sure why the Jets traded him, because they had no one else on that defensive line with Quinnen Williams. It's it was just him and no one. They probably should have kept him, but hey, the Jets are going to jet. And defensively, I could not do much about this video without mentioning PS2, Patrick Surtain. Maybe the best corner in the NFL. You got Christian Gonzalez, who's I think is right there trying to make that claim as well. But if not, it's like a 1A, 1B situation here. But he has been elite since he came into the league, and we have him. So that is pretty good. So again, already some good pieces here on this defense. We just have to, I think, right the ship, but we just have to, kind of have a steady guiding hand here, and I think this team should have a lot of success. We are going to use the newest draft class here, and actually, I will go in here, and I'll go through this with you and find the newest draft class that is out. So what we're going to do is quite simple. We're going to search by username. So this is what you should do, because this is the draft classes that I use. And some people ask, hey, what draft classes do you use? How can I use them? This is what I use. This is what we're going to type in. Doesn't have to be all capital. It's just for me. I like it to be all capital. And Big Gargamel. This is what we're going to type in. Enter that in. And he should have his final 2026 class is the post-combine update. This is what we are going to use. This is what we're going to use for this rebuild. I have a couple already, but this is the 2026 final class. This is the post-combine update with all the updates from the combine. And after everyone ran and did everything, this is it. So there we go. Let's get into who we have to re-sign and let's get into this rebuild. So if you've been enjoying the rebuilds, Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment. Who do you want to see me rebuild next? And let's get into it. I almost did an outro right there, but hit the subscribe button. Go on, do it. Okay, so we are here in the re-signing period of the offseason. I know in real life, I believe they did bring back J.K. Dobbins. I'm not going to do that. Again, if you're someone who wants to watch that type of rebuild, I'm sure there's someone out there who's doing like the actual rosters, and you can go and do that. You can go and watch that. I'm not doing that. Just because I feel like those rosters are just weird stuff with those rosters at times. So we look through here what we need to re-sign, and really there's not that much, honestly. Not too many guys that I'm like, okay, we have to bring this guy back. That's just kind of not what it is. We are going to try to bring back Alex Singleton. He is still relatively decent. I really only want him for a year, so we can actually pay up and we'll keep him for a year, but I'm not keeping him for 2 because he will regress, and I don't want to be stuck with that for a second year. So not going to happen. Look through here. The rest of these guys we can let walk. So we'll go into free agency with around $34 million in cap room. What that's going to allow us to do is, I'm not 100% sure, honestly, what that's going to allow us to do. I want to take another quick look at this roster really quick, because we look through here, that tackle position is not really what I like to see. It's not very good. Quinn Miners is very good, and McGlinchey is very good. So we definitely need to get another left tackle in here, and we may have to do that via free agency. George Pickens is here. This is a little interesting. I usually don't see George Pickens. I haven't seen Mike Evans hit free agency that often. This would be really interesting to go out here and sign one of those guys. It's just we don't necessarily have the money to do it. Jawan Jennings could be fun. But yeah, we don't really have the money to go out here and get a George Pickens. We'd have to really pay up. So, and there's more important things for us to go out and get, like a tackle. In real life, I believe Rasheed Walker went to, I want to say, the Browns. I can't tell if he went to the Browns or if he went to the Panthers. I don't know why I'm thinking Panthers. Yes, he went to the Panthers. But he is here for us, and we can easily meet his needs, and we're going to get him signed up, I think, through the rest of this franchise. We're going to pay up for Rasheed Walker, because I want Rasheed Walker. We're going to go out here, get ourselves a starting left tackle, and we're going to look through here. Is there anything else we want? Not really. Tariq Woolen's here. That could be fun. You know what? We're going to try to go sign Tariq Woolen here, and I'm going to give him 4 years as well, because Riley Moss will be a free agent, and I don't feel like re-signing him. Oh boy, Seattle actually does want to keep him, but we'll see if they keep him. Actually, we could go with Cordell Flott. That could be a little cheaper. We're going to withdraw that offer. And we're going to go with Cordell Flott, actually. Get this corner room very filled up here. And I think that'll do it for free agency for us, honestly. So we're going to try to get both of these guys. Hopefully we can get both of them. That would be great. And we do get both of them. So we get Rasheed Walker and we get Cordell Flott. So an extra corner and a starting left tackle. So I think that's a successful free agency. And I'm going to be happy with that. Okay, so doing a little bit of scouting here. And the two players that I've really kind of zoned in on here are Casey Concepcion and Omar Cooper Jr. I think those are two guys that I would really like to get in this first round. Potentially Chris Bell too. I think Chris Bell would have tested pretty well. I thought he was, I think most people agree, he was probably making a hard charge to be a first round pick before he blew out his ACL. Now granted, we don't have to worry about injuries here that much in these rebuilds because I just don't have injuries turned on because I don't want to do like roster management, stuff like that. Another pick I'm thinking about is potentially CJ Allen as well. I think that could be someone we could look at if the receivers don't fall to us the way that I would like them to, but We'll have to see once we get into the draft, though, but that's kind of what I'm thinking right here before we get into this. Okay, so we are here in the draft, first round, 2026. What are we going to do? And again, a lot of the receivers we want are here. Mekhi Lemon's here. Jordan Tyson is here. I feel like his name has really cooled off as of late. You know, just I think because, I don't know. I think the injuries have kind of just scared people off here. So for me, this is going to be pretty easy. We're going to go with KC Concepcion. I don't know how to, whatever the pronunciation is, but we're going to go with him here. Again, I believe looks pretty good here. Ran well. And yeah, going to go out here and get ourselves another receiver for Bo Nix. Get him another weapon. Surround Bo Nix with weapons. Make sure the infrastructure is in place for him to succeed. And KC Concepcion has hidden dev, 93 speed, 94 acceleration, 93 agility. All that stuff looks really good. He has good size to be a good NFL player, and I like that pick. So we're going to skip ahead here to the next pick. And we look around and see where did some guys go. Kenyon Sadiq off the board. I would have liked to have maybe come back and try to have gotten Kenyon Sadiq. And then we're going to skip ahead a little bit here in this draft. I want to see if I want to trade back in to this first round or the second round. And Mekhi Lemon goes and Anthony Hill Jr. goes. So we are going to make a trade here, or at least I'm going to try to make a trade. I am going to go to the Tennessee Titans and I'm going to try to trade for that pick. Because there's still, so it'd be a 2, a 4, and a 2 next year. That'd be what we'd offer up here for the Titans 2 this year. Are they willing to do this trade? They are willing to do this trade. So we're trading back into the second round here. Going to trade move. I don't know if that was too much to give up, but I wanted to get back into this second round, and there's still some really good players here. And I think I'm going to go after another receiver. I could go after CJ Allen. I kind of really do want to go after CJ Allen. You know, just because Greenlaw is getting a little bit older. Our starting linebacker, probably going to be a free agent soon. I believe his deal is up. If not, we just have another really good linebacker here. So you know what? I thought about receiver. There's enough of them there, but we're going to go with CJ Allen here. We're going to take him in the second round. I think if he's still there, we came up to get him, and there we go. So solid player, really good player, actually high potential. We're going to go simulate here again to the third round of this draft, and then I'm going to let the CPU do the rest of the work for me. But there we go. I think that was a good move on our part. There's still some receivers here that if we want. Some defensive tackles here. And I'm not sure who that guy is because the names are all weird. I really wish the names weren't like that. But we are going to look for another edge player, and that's going to be Romello Height, actually. He's kind of still here, so might as well actually, speaking of Texas Tech, is Jacob Rodriguez still on the board? He is not on the board. Probably got taken in the second round, but since Romello Height is still here, we are going to take Romello Height. Get another edge player for us, I think is pretty good. Jonathan Cooper, a little bit older, and Romello Height doesn't have to play right away, so he can kind of just develop, which is what we're going to try to do with him. So very good. And we did not pick again until the 5th round because we traded our 4 to the Titans. So the Titans decided to just get a bunch of picks, which is probably smart on their part. And we're going to come back here and we're looking around. What do we want to do? Still some corners, still some receivers around. And, you know, I probably do want to take another defensive tackle. And we're going to take Rayshon Betty here. actually. Elite speed, looks like a good athlete, solid enough strength. Not sure if he'll really develop for us, but if he does, great. If he doesn't, oh well, it's a 5th round pick. But just to get some more defensive tackle depth in here, and that is going to do it for the draft. So I'll see you for the draft recap. So only 5 picks in the draft for us, but I think they were pretty good picks. KC Concepcion, look, 76 overall, looks really good, honestly. Hidden dev, just got to work on that route running a little bit, and I think he will be pretty exceptional for us. Should do work in the sim. CJ Allen, I like the idea of this pick. Just kind of, again, what I've always done in these rebuilds. Got to prepare to move off of older, more expensive players for cheaper players. I think that's really a key thing to do in, I think, Madden, also in football. I think there's times where you basically have to make a bet that, you know what, when you're in a window that you can maybe rely on some younger players who are cheaper when you're, in the window trying to compete, because you gotta, manage to cap all the other good stuff. Romello Height, gonna have to work on his power moves, but honestly, he might just be a speed rusher, so we might just key in on just the speed rusher part of his build. And the play rec is only 62. Would like to see that be higher, but 75 block shedding, that's not too bad, honestly. So, needs some work. Rayshawn Benny, not sure if he'll develop quick enough before we get to the Madden generated draft classes that always have really beastly defensive tackles. I would like for him to develop, but you just never know with Madden and kind of the luck of the draw of that. And then Oscar Delp was the last pick of the draft. 67 overall, tight end. Not too bad. Route running isn't that good. Good acceleration, decent speed. Not sure what he'll be for us. Not sure how I feel about a tight end wearing number 4, though. But I'm going to go through training camp, and then I'll see you for those upgrades, and then on to year number 1 of the rebuild. All right, so Romello Height gets a dev trait upgrade up to star, so that should really help his development. We'll keep trying to get that up to at the very least superstar. Would love to try to, again, develop him very quickly. Super cheap contract. I can look to move maybe one of the other more expensive older edge rushers. So Romello Height, dev trait upgrade up to star. All right, training camp is done, and we have a bunch of upgrades to get to here, particularly here for KC Concepcion. That's how you pronounce that. I could be pronouncing it. I could just go look at how someone else is pronouncing it and see if they're right, but what's the fun in that? So we are just going to give him some upgrades here. And again, gonna try to just make him a scheme fit. I would put rules in place, like how I'm gonna do that. Like, we're only gonna focus on scheme fits, but what's like the fun in that, honestly? I feel like, you know what I mean? But either way, we're gonna go with physical here for now. I think for these first bit of upgrades that we do for some guys, maybe that's what we'll do, right? For rookies and things like that. First training camp, we will focus on their scheme fit, and he is making some pretty nice upgrades right here, honestly. And he is going to be an 81 overall, at the very least, unless we get some more upgrades, going into his rookie season. So he is a star dev player. So we do like to see that. Route running's good. Everything else is really good. So I think he'll make a good impact. Also because we will probably actually just put him at slot for the sim engine, because that's how it works in Madden. But hey, CJ Allen going to get some good upgrades here as well. And, actually got gold in the linebacker drill. Got lucky with a couple fumbles. I feel like that's all you really have to focus on, is if you can get at least 2 fumbles and at least make a couple good tackles, you should get gold in that drill. But yeah, so he is going to be an 82 overall. You actually might start at one of those linebacker positions, if I'm being honest, but he is a superstar dev as well. So we get a superstar dev linebacker in the 2nd round. I'll take it. And then Romello Height, who we did get that dev trait upgrade for up to star, which we do like to see. And for this is just going to be speed rusher. That's what he's good at. That's what we're going to focus on. We're not just going to turn, a 239 pound guy into some power rusher. That's, realistically, that's probably not going to happen. He is going to win with speed and finesse. And that's what we're going to try to do here. And he's going to be a 76 overall. Again, not sure if he'll play much his rookie year. There are guys ahead of him, but we could look to maybe trade Jonathan Cooper, get some draft compensation back. maybe try to get a second round pick from someone. We did trade a second round pick away to get CJ Allen, so that could be something we could do. Cordell Flott gonna get some upgrades as well, and we're gonna focus on his man-to-man coverage. It seems to be the weakest part of his game, at least according to Madden. And I say that just because like I don't like know how accurate their ratings truly are for real players. You know, I just feel like at times you watch some guys, it's like, you know, I don't think Madden gets that right, honestly. Shocking, right? But up to an 81 overall, only 25 years old, and we have him signed for the next 4 years. Bo Nix. I feel like Bo Nix gets a little bit of a bad rap. You know, I just feel like Bo Nix still gets viewed as that guy that I say struggled with the pressure at Auburn. And, you know, I just think, you know, it's not like anyone has been particularly all that great at Auburn recently. So I just feel like Bo Nix kind of gets unfairly maligned for his struggles at Auburn. Was great at Oregon. So, yeah. RJ Harvey is going to be our lead back. That's why I was fine with letting J.K. Dobbins go. I was like, we got RJ Harvey. If I didn't exactly fully remember it at the time, but I was like, I'm pretty sure there's another running back on this roster. And yes, it's RJ Harvey. And he's going to be an 82 overall. He should play pretty well for us in the sim. He should play well enough for us in the sim at least. And then Rasheed Walker. He is our left tackle of... That's not Rasheed Walker. All this talk of AI... I would have no problem if EA would use AI to just get the faces right of players who can't scan in. Just use AI, get them in the game. I feel like that would be simpler, but you never know. They're going to try to use AI to like write run blocking code as opposed to using it for, you know, stuff like getting more accurate player faces for all however many players are in the NFL. But either way, that is the upgrades that we got for training camp. I'll catch back up to you before we start the season. Okay, so here's the roster for year number 1. Not that much different from what the Broncos had in real life. Now, I will say, as of recording this video, the Broncos did actually trade for Jalen Waddle. We will not be, again, not going to be doing that, but they did trade for Jalen Waddle. I am aware of that because I know someone will leave a comment. Hey, you know the Broncos traded for Jalen Waddle. I posted that. I'm saying that right now that I am aware of that. We're just not going to be doing that in this rebuild because it happened while in the middle of the draft when I took KC Concepcion. So I'm sure someone will leave a comment saying, "Hey, they've traded for Jalen Waddle. Why wasn't that in the?" I'm explaining right now why it's not in this video. So if someone does that, you see in the comment section, call them a moron. Because I'm giving you permission to say that to them. Be mean to them, please. But either way, that's the offense. Defensively, about the same. We do have Cordell Flott here. Good defensive line. We have Romello Height, Jonathan Cooper, who still has 3 years left on his deal, actually. So we have him around for a while. I don't think we're going to train him. I think we're just going to wait a little bit here, let Romello Height still develop. But we have a good defense here. And yeah, I think this team should be able to compete. I will see you at the midseason mark to see how our record is. Okay, so we're at the midpoint of the season here, and we are 4-2. Pretty good record so far. Let's take a look at the stats here. Bo Nix, 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. So he's actually on a pretty good track, actually, this year to probably put up his best career numbers. RJ Harvey having a very good season as the lead back for us. 422 yards, 4 touchdowns on the season. And then receiving wise, Troy Franklin leading the way in terms of yardage, but it's KC Concepcion with also having a very good season, along with Cortland Sutton and Evan Ingram also having a very good year. 5 receiving touchdowns on the year for him as well. I'm interested to see how the defense is doing, and CJ Allen playing very well, 4 sacks so far, but Cooper and Benito leading the way with sacks, along with CJ Allen playing very well. I'm not sure where he's getting in on the field to get these sacks, but I will take it. And then Patrick Surtain with 4 interceptions so far on the season. Cordell Flott with an interception as well. Also, I believe he is leading the way. Oh, nope. Riley Moss with 4 pass deflections. Cordell Flott with 3. So you do like to see that as well. So things looking pretty good so far. I feel good about making the playoffs. You never know with Madden. We are trailing the Chargers, and you got the Raiders right there along with the Chiefs. So really tight AFC West right now. All right, so we go 12-5 here, which means we played pretty well down the stretch, only losing 3 additional games, and we end up getting the 1 seed here. So we do get a bye, and we'll take a look here at some of these upgrades that we can apply to our players for the playoffs here. CJ Allen gets a bunch of upgrades. And we're going to go with pass coverage for him, actually. Get those pass coverage ratings up even higher. Actually, I accidentally hit that one because these menus are so slow. I really don't get what's the, like, this game is on PS5 and these menus move as if you think it was on the PS2. I don't understand that. But either way, I want to get pass coverage. I feel like that would get him closer to being a scheme fit, and my suspicion was right. He is now a field general scheme fit. So do like to see that, Casey Concepcion. Now we're going to focus on simply playmaker for him, I think, moving forward, and just kind of keep getting that route running up. +3 medium route. You do like to see that. And again, going to be up to an 84 overall here. See, does he get any more route running upgrades? +2 medium route running again. So that's what, +5 to his medium route running just from this upgrades that we have done. And another +2 medium route and +2 deep route and +2 release. So that is all very good right there. So yeah, route running is up pretty good here for him. So we'll go take a look. Actually, we have one more really important upgrade, and that is going to be to Bo Nix, and to make sure they just keep getting that field general upgrade for him. And again, so important to get that awareness upgrade for these quarterbacks so they can perform in the sim. So a bunch of upgrades right there. We are an 88 across the board. Let's take a look here at these stats and awards, and Bo Nix had a really great season. 39 touchdowns to 9 interceptions, 4,300 yards. I mean, that is a great season. RJ Harvey was very good, 1,000 yards rushing on the year for him, 8 touchdowns. And then we'll take a look here. Casey Concepcion with leading the way for us in terms of receiving touchdowns and yardage. Troy Franklin was very good. Cortland Sutton was very good. Evan Ingram was good. RJ Harvey contributed in the passing game as well. But again, really good season overall. And I do like seeing our rookie receiver do well. And then, yeah, CJ Allen, I'm still not sure where he's getting on the field to get those sacks, but I do like it. Nick Benito, 16.5 sacks. Jonathan Cooper, 13 sacks. John Franklin Myers, 11. CJ Allen, 7. Zach Allen, 5.5. Mello Height got on the field a little bit, and he managed to get 2 sacks on the year. And so you see that a lot of sacks on this team, and decent amount of turnovers forced as well. So we do like to see all of that. And let's advance on here real quick and see who we're going to be playing in the divisional round of the playoffs. I'm fascinated to see who we're going to be going up against, and it's going to be the Steelers. And I'm going to assume that the Steelers probably took Ty Simpson, because I feel like if Rodgers retires, then they usually take Ty Simpson, or maybe they have Daniel Jones. Nope, they took Ty Simpson. They also have the rapist, Deshaun Watson, on roster. Boy, Pittsburgh quarterbacks and rape. That's kind of a wild combo, but we're gonna take on the Steelers here, see how we do. I'll check in with you again. We're actually 88, 88, 89 overalls as well. Okay, so we are here in the playoffs. I can't see shit. Okay, I am not jumping in any of this. If they lose, they lose, but I am totally not going to be jumping in. I can't see anything. I don't understand modern video games being like, hey, what if you can't see? Like, that's always like a unique thing in gaming now, where it's like, what if you can't see anything? How would that be, sir? I don't know. I like being able to see, though. I can't see. I'm not going to be jumping in here, but it looks like they don't need me to jump in, because we're going to beat the Steelers in a blizzard, 31-21, and we are advancing on to the AFC Championship game. Hopefully Bo Nix doesn't break his ankle. Looks fine right there. So, Bo Nix had a pretty good day here, 19 of 30, 217 yards, 3 passing touchdowns on the day. Also had a rushing touchdown as well. You love to see it. Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin catching all of that. Troy Franklin kind of eating in the sim, if I'm being honest. And then defensively, looks like we just kind of had our way with the Steelers team. I mean, just 2.5 sacks for Nick Bonito. Nick Bonito having just a big I am here party in this game. And then an interception by CJ Allen, an interception by Hufanga, an interception by Cordell Flott, and an interception by Brandon Jones. So lots of interceptions right there, 4 of them. So a rough game for Ty Simpson. Let's go see who we're going to be playing in the AFC Championship game. All right, AFC Championship game taking on Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Can Lamar Jackson finally get over the hump and win an AFC Championship game, or will he implode like he kind of always does in these big games? Let's find out. All right, AFC Championship game. It's been a back and forth affair. It's 42-41. We have the lead. We can come on here out of timeouts, looking to stop Lamar Jackson and this Ravens team here. We are going to jump in and play this. We're going to try to get some pressure. Down goes Lamar. No, he does not. EA must still think this is like MVP era Lamar, where he just breaks every sack someone tries on him, apparently. Okay. Well, we had him dead to rights, multiple guys on him, but apparently no one can get to Lamar. That time we do get to him. I wonder if they still have that freak as a kicker. I'm kind of forgetting the guy's name, but 42-41. I don't think they're in field goal range. And try to get some pressure here. Down goes Lamar. It's a fumble. And they are now 3rd and 14. So they're definitely going to throw this football here, as we are trying to close this game out. I'm going to try to move on. And that is going to be caught right there by Mark Andrews. He holds on to the football. And that is probably going to do it here, because no one can tackle the great Lamar Jackson. And I don't know why he went for a swat right there. No clue why he went for a swat right there. We used to have the ability to change that to where they would actually try to catch the football. Now he just throws this one out of bounds. And they're going to kick a field goal here with around 16 seconds left. All right, let's see if we can maybe get a block here. And that's actually going to be wide left. They missed the kick. We didn't even block it. And we are going to be moving on to the Super Bowl, 42-41, as the Ravens fail to convert. Lamar Jackson got him into position. Maybe should have got a couple more yards, John Harbaugh. Oh, well. We're on to the Super Bowl. And what a day here for Bo Nix. 26 of 40, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions on the day for him. RJ Harvey, not much of a running game. And then KC Concepcion, 4 receiving touchdowns, 2 here for Cortland Sutton. Both of them had really just big plays here, it looks like. And then we take a look here defensively. Couple sacks. Probably should have truthfully had more there. But either way, year 1 of the rebuild, we are going on to the Super Bowl. Okay, so we are at the Super Bowl here, and I do have some more upgrades here. CJ Allen goes up to Superstar X Factor. I think all those sacks he got must have helped him out, but he goes up to X Factor. That is awesome for us. But we're also going to come back here, Patrick Surtain, PS2, and get him another upgrade. I'm sure he probably won an award. That is very nice. +4 press, +6 tackle is very nice as well. And I'm going to assume KC Concepcion got up to, at the very least, Superstar. He had to at least win some sort of offensive award, and he does go up to Superstar. So let's take a quick look here, and Offensive Rookie of the Year. So that gets him a dev trade upgrade here. Who cares about Nash Jones? I'm sorry, but we're taking on the Lions in the Super Bowl here, year 1 in Atlanta. Let's go see if we can make the Lions fans cry. Well, we end up winning the Super Bowl 38-31. I almost completely missed it. We beat the Lions here 38-31. And yeah, there we go. We get the Super Bowl done here in year number 1. And it's been a while since I've done that, or I don't know if I ever have actually done that. But again, kind of like I said, that's what happens when you do these rebuilds with these teams that are better. Like, you have a shot to do it year 1. So, you know, if we do it year 1, we are only going to do a 1 additional year, I think, honestly. But yeah, 23 of 33, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception for Bo Nix. RJ Harvey with 2 rushing touchdowns in this game. Cortland Sutton, Evan Ingram, Casey Conception also getting receiving touchdowns. And then defensively, 3 sacks for Zach Allen, 2.5 for Nick Bonito, 1.5 for Jonathan Cooper, Hufanga with a half a sack, JFM with a half sack, and an interception for Cordell Flott. So that was a pretty good signing for us. Let's see if we can go back to back. Okay, so these are the retirements we are dealing with here, and it's pretty significant. Mike McGlinchey calls it a career, DJ Jones calls it a career, and Evan Ingram also calls it a career. So a lot of guys we got to replace. Okay, so we have some options here to accept. That is going to be on Bo Nix. We're going to accept that option. You could do the game thing where you don't accept it and you can try to re-sign them like cheaper, but I just feel like teams just kind of accept those options for the most part in real life. Brandon Jones wants an extension and we are going to give it to him. And he is happy to play for this great team for a little bit longer. Riley Moss, he's not interested in re-signing. I do want to keep John Franklin Myers around just because, all right, well, it looks like we're going to lose John Franklin Myers. And I think the rest of these guys we are going to let walk. Alex Singleton is regressing a little bit. We're going to let all these guys walk. And, yeah, so we're going to let all those guys walk. My phone distracted me for a split second there. I do have some ideas on what I want to do. And one of those things that we can clear up even more cap space, and I believe is we are going to, now that we think about it here, there's some things that we're going to have to do to clear this up here. But one of the things we are going to do is Jonathan Cooper is going to be on the trade block for us. And we could trade for a right tackle. We do need an additional right tackle because ours just retired. And the Cowboys are like, hey, here's Terrence Steele. He is 30. So I'm actually going to say no to that, actually. I'm not going to do that. But I think we're going to actually go in here and just kind of find a right tackle that we want and just see if there's a team out there that is in a position to maybe trade one to us. And we look around here, Spencer Brown. I would like that. That'd be pretty nice, honestly. Again, we're not clearing cap. We're going to look around here, see if there's anything out here that we like. We could trade for this guy from the Buccaneers, but I am going to wait because I don't like any of the offers we're getting. We're going to go see if there's someone in free agency that we can go out and get. And there are some center right tackles that we could bring in. Brian O'Neill. But I just don't want to deal with the situation where they retire right away. And Warren McClendon Jr., that could be the guy for us, actually. And let's pay him some money here. And around $11 million per year. I feel like that is a great offer for him. He should take that offer. He'll progress even more, so I'm not too worried about that. Tight end is a position of need for us. We are going to need another tight end, and I think it is going to be Brenton Strange. So we're going to try to bring in Brenton Strange here. And left guard, we're good at left guard, we're good at center, we're good at right guard, so we're not going to bring anyone else in there. And yeah, so I think that's all we actually have to do, because I think we're pretty good with every other part of our roster. Alex Singleton did retire, so we could try to bring in someone, or he didn't retire, he left actually, because we decided not to bring him back. You know, I am considering just bringing him back, and just for a 1-year deal, because he'll probably retire after this year. And I think that's what we're going to do for free agency right there. I think that is it for us. These are our targets. Let's see if we get them. And we get all three. We get Brenton Strange, we get Alex Singleton back, and we get a new right tackle. So that's going to do it for free agency. On to the draft. Okay, so we are going to trade Jonathan Cooper to the Carolina Panthers along with a 3rd-round pick. What we get back is a 2027 second and a 5th. So I think that's a fair deal. Cooper, we're going to get out of here just to clear up a little bit of money. And we also have a guy who I think is ready to go right now in Romello Height. So going to try to get him on the field this upcoming season. Okay, so we are here in the 2027 draft. The Jets have a bunch of picks here. We're going to advance to our next pick, pick number 32. I'm not sure how this is going to play out, what's going to be on the board when we want to take anything here. We're going to take a look here and see what's on here, honestly. And I'm really not that blown away with what is here, if I'm being entirely honest. We just take a look around here, and again, nothing all that good. I might need a little bit of time here to figure out what exactly it is I want to do here with this pick, because we don't need any more edge rushers. Defensive tackle, I think all of the good players have basically been taken from defensive tackle, so that's not going to work. I think, again, all of the good weak inside linebackers have been taken, so that's not going to be a thing. We could go tight end here, but kind of not liking what I'm seeing, honestly, out of these guys. I just don't feel like that's a real need. So I'm going to take a look around here and just kind of see what we should do. All right, looked around a bit here. Still didn't find anything I particularly was all that excited by. So I think what we're going to do here is I think we're just going to take Trades Grain right here. 6'7", really good athlete. So, you know, we're going to hope that maybe it works out here. Trades Green's going to be the pick here. Ranked 33 in true value, does have hidden dev, 87 speed, 89 acceleration. So you do like to see that. And we do pick again here. Kind of early because, again, that Jonathan Cooper trade, we got a mid-second round pick because we did trade our 2027 second round pick to the Titans so we could take CJ Allen. So we're gonna look around here. Still some pretty good players on the board. Looking around here, what exactly do we want to do? Not 100% sure. Still not sure, honestly. Yeah, I mean, defensive tackles. I think we're going to try one of these defensive tackles. We do need another one. So we're going to see if Anthony Smith is any good. But Ahmad Moten actually does look a little bit better. Again, it's with the play rec. Again, I'm not sure how that translates with the created classes, if I'm being entirely honest. You know, that's more something I'm taking away from the, like, Madden generated one. So we're just going with Anthony Smith here out of Minnesota and ranked 109. Not sure if he's any good, but we don't pick again until the 4th round here. So let's see here. Going to be and really it's the end of the 4th round. So that's the gift. I mean, the curse of winning the Super Bowl is that you have to wait a very long time to pick again normally. So we're looking around here. There is still around 1 to 2 true talent corner on the board. You don't necessarily need a corner, but that looks like the best value at the draft. So Jontez Williams, we're going to take ranked 48 in true value, and could always use a spare corner. And I'm going to let the CPU handle the rest of this draft just because I don't see a lot of stuff that I want here, if I'm being entirely honest. So go to our next user pick, and we are going to, I'll make this last 5th round pick here and see what's on the board here. And again, like I said, just a lot of corners in this draft. It appears like, I don't know if this is just like a big corner draft. Maybe it is, I don't know. We'll take a quick look here at any defensive tackles that we think could be good. Trey Pierce looks, Jordan Hall actually looks a little bit better. So we're gonna see if Jordan Hall is any good. Trying to find some diamond in the roughs here. A defensive tackle, maybe not, I don't know. I'm gonna get out of here though. I'm gonna let the CPU handle the rest of this. So honestly, not that bad of a draft. Trey'Dez Green, 74 overall. Anthony Smith, 71 overall. Jontez Williams, a 73. Jordan Hall, honestly, for a 5th round pick, not that bad. Darius Taylor they took, and the rest of these guys, but not that bad of a draft for the rest of these guys that we took. I'm just interested to see. Let's go take a look at the top of the 2nd and kind of see, is there someone else that we maybe should have took? Could have took a receiver, but again, I don't think we really need another receiver right now. Kewan Lacey was a guy I thought about, but DJ Hicks, 72. Ryan Williams is still on the board. Again, I'm not sure what they changed, but it seems like receivers fall more in the draft, so I'm not sure what that is. But no, I think we made a pretty decent pick right there. Yeah, I'm not too upset with that at all. And, you know, Anthony Smith was right there, 71 overall. That's about in line, I guess, with some of the other players who went right here. I'm trying to see if there are any other defensive, did I like miss a defensive tackle that I maybe should have taken that was slightly better, and I'm not really seeing it, honestly. So I think we did make the right pick because we wanted to get defensive tackle right there in that spot, and I'm just not seeing that there was another defensive tackle that made more sense. So I think we did a good job. All right, so we have a ton of upgrades here. Trey'Dez Green gets 11 of them, and we're gonna go with possession for a lot of these with him. So yeah, we're gonna try to get possession up here, try to make him a scheme fit. I feel like, at least for tight ends, those 2 top archetypes are a little disconnected enough to where it doesn't feel like receiver. Where like when you're upgrading receivers, it feels like the receivers are just like all on top of each other, no matter what archetype you pick. They all kind of end up as deep threats for whatever reason, because everything gets a bit of the like the deep route or whatever things that are good for the deep threat archetype. I feels like that kind of bleeds across all the other archetypes, so you don't really ever build a true certain archetype receiver. In Madden, it feels like to me. I don't know if that makes, if I'm making any sense, if I'm not making sense, let me know. If I am making sense, also let me know. I just feel like these archetypes are just kind of like meaningless. Like they don't really mean anything for how these players play, but either way, Trey'Dez Green up to an 85 overall. Star Dev, I mean, we got him all the way up here. He's ranked as the number 8 tight end in the league already in his rookie year. So we do like seeing that. We did sign Aiden Childs. I'm not going to be too focused on his development. Romello Height, we're just going to keep going with that speed rusher for him. And we're just going to make him a great speed rusher because I feel like there's no other reason to really focus on power rusher, because eventually you'll get bites at the apple for these other right there. I mean, I was about to mention it. It's my only issue with these archetypes, right? It's really hard to just specialize a guy because no matter what, it's such a random RNG roll. I'm upgrading speed rusher, yet I'm getting power rusher upgrades. I don't understand that. I don't know, maybe it's like that because the CPU's too stupid to properly build its players or something. So it needs to, when they do their upgrades, they need to get a little bit of everything anyway. I don't know why that is, but either way, Mellow Height is going to be an 86 overall going into his second year, where he is going to be a starter for us. So we stuck to that plan. Jade Baron, yeah, we're going to get 5 upgrade points for him. We're just going to focus on man upgrades for him. I'll be interested to see kind of where he falls in here, but again, we have 3 really good corners on this team, and I think that is always key to success in these rebuilds, is to have like 3 good corners. Oh, that sounds like weird. I'm not sure why it's that specific number. I wonder if it's like receiver, where like in the sim, like 3 of your corners are like, that's who's getting the majority of like the snaps. So maybe that has to do with it. Warren McClendon Jr., we did some drills with him, and at the very least there should be 2 lineman drills in the training camp sessions. I know there's more than 1 drill for linemen. There was like a guard rushing game one, I think that's in there. That is a drill that should be in training camp. But he's going to be a 75 overall, but we focus on making his pass block better. So I think that was a little more important than worrying about, you know, the archetype or whatever. But Bo Nix, just going to go with field general again for him. And he is going to potentially start at a 90 overall here. Let's see. He does start at a 90 overall. And there we go. So 90 overall Bo Nix, also is a superstar dev, 91 awareness. So he should play very well for us. And I am fascinated to see what Aiden Childs ends up being after all these upgrades. So let's get in here and see. Should be probably in the mid 70s, because a lot of this with quarterbacks in Madden, they're low rated, not necessarily because their like accuracy numbers are like completely terrible. It's really the awareness rating. I guess for this one, since this is a Madden, or this is someone created this draft class in Aiden Childs, that is more kind of what it is. His accuracy ratings aren't that good, but I feel like for the most part, no matter what, quarterbacks that are even like randomly generated have like decent accuracy numbers and things. It's always just, they make the awareness really bad. And that's kind of, I don't know, I feel like they need to redo quarterback ratings to properly showcase elite quarterbacks to very good quarterbacks to decent quarterbacks to average quarterbacks to bad quarterbacks. I think, you know, quarterback ability is on a spectrum, kind of like myself, but you know, I think Aiden Childs again should be a 70, 71 overall. If we keep this going more than these first 2 seasons, he could be trade bait for us. But he is going to be, at the very least, a 70 overall going into this season. And yeah, it's going to be a 70 overall. Well on his way to progressing very nicely for us. He's a rookie, so not the most important thing, but we'll try to develop him throughout the season. Maybe that could be trade bait for someone, but either way, let's get into season number 2. All right, so year number 2 of the rebuild here. Weird to say rebuild, even though we won the Super Bowl in year 1, but either way, this is the team. Bo Nix, 90 overall superstar dev. KC Concepcion, 87 overall superstar dev. Cortland Sutton starting to regress a little bit here. Troy Franklin. And this receiving core, very good. Trades Green, already an 85 overall, so that is very nice. And defensively, well, CJ Allen is basically taking over that starting linebacker role, so we'll have to move Greenlaw around a little bit here. Defensive line, not as strong as it was last year. We did sign Sheldon Rankins, though. Kind of just a little stopgap signing right there. So there is that. Rest of the defense looks pretty good, though. I'm probably going to make a change here to weak inside linebacker and just start Greenlaw right there. But apart from that, everything's looking pretty good right here. And again, Romello Height, I'm hoping has a very good season, but I'll see you for the playoffs. We're just going to go straight to the playoffs here, and I'll see you there. All right, so we did make the playoffs. We went 10-7 though, so no number 1 seed for us. We actually didn't even win the AFC West this year, so a little bit of regression. Take a look here at the stats. Only 3,600 yards here for Bo Nix, 28 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. RJ Harvey, kind of whatever year, honestly, not a lot of production in terms of touchdowns, but Casey Conception with 1,000 yards, Troy Franklin with almost 1,000 yards, and Cortland Sutton only with almost 800 yards. Trey'Dez Green, though, had a very good rookie year, though, 6 touchdowns on the season for him. How did Romello Height do? I'm somewhat interested to see that. And Nick Bonito with 20.5 sacks, Zach Allen with 15.5, Romello Height with 8 his first year starting, so I think that's pretty good. Sheldon Rankins just came in, put up a solid year as well, so that's not too bad. A half sack there for Anthony Smith, and 3 interceptions for Dre Greenlaw, 3 for Brandon Jones, 2 for Jahdae Barron. Pat Surtain only with 1 interception on the season, so yeah, only 1, not too bad, not the worst. So let's see if we can beat the Bengals in the wild card. We are just going to advance on here, and to make sure no one gets any ideas, because I'm sure someone will. There we go, no force win, nothing like that. So let's see, can we beat the Bengals? Did I just curse us? We did not. I did not curse us. We beat the Bengals onto the divisional round here, taking on the Chargers. And there we go. Going to take on, I believe, the number 1 seeded Chargers. I believe the Chargers had the 1 seed. I could be wrong about that, actually. Let me check. Yes, they are the 1 seed here. So taking on the 1 seeded Chargers. Going to do these upgrades, and then we're going to jump into that divisional round game and see if we can beat the Chargers. So let's go see if we can do it. Okay, so we are here, AFC divisional round, and we are up 42-17 over this Chargers team, 45. They're still going to try to make a comeback, I'm sure of it, but we are doing pretty good right here. And there we go, 45-24, moving on to the AFC Championship game. Let's go take a quick look at the stats. So let's go take a quick look here. Player stats, how do we do? Looks like Bo Nix had a great game here. 5 touchdowns, 325 yards passing. RJ Harvey, not much here. 64 yards. But Casey Conception, 3 touchdowns on the day, 124 yards, 119 yards, and a touchdown for Cortland Sutton. Troy Franklin had a pretty good game, so you love to see that. And then defensively, 2 sacks for Sheldon Rankins, 1.5 for Zach Allen, Romello Height with 1, half for Benito, half for Greenlaw, and an interception for Pat Surtain. So let's go see who we're playing in the championship game. Okay, AFC Championship game, taking on the Houston Texans. I'm not sure why I keep messing up my words here. The Broncos versus the Texans for a trip to the Super Bowl. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, game on the line, 35-32. We can put them away and head to our 2nd straight Super Bowl here. We're going to try to do that here. Keep them from scoring. And CJ Stroud going to get sacked. It's a fumble. And they are able to get onto it. So they get onto that football. 2nd and 19 coming up here now. We're going to try to bring some more heat. It's strip sacked again. This time we get on it. They have all 3 of their timeouts, but Nick Bonito's the one who got on top of it. But we're going to come in here, and we are going to try to put this thing away. So Brenton Strange gets in for the touchdown, and I think that should put it away. 42-32, we defeat the Texans onto the Super Bowl. Let's see who we're going to be playing out of the NFC. So, Bo Nix, almost 400 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So there's that. RJ Harvey, not much in the sim. Trades Green, 2 touchdowns. Cortland Sutton, a touchdown. 2 touchdowns for Casey Conception. And then Brenton Strange with a touchdown. So big stuff right there for the offense. And then 2.5 sacks for Mello Height. Sack and a half for Zach Allen. CJ Allen with a sack. Sheldon Rakins a sack. A half for Dre Greenlaw. A half for Nick Benito. A half for Pat Surtain. A half for Kobe King. And no interceptions, but 3 fumbles recovered for this defense, though. So let's see who we're going to be playing in the NFC. Okay, Super Bowl taking on the Giants, 12-5. We are better than them. If we win the Super Bowl, I think this video is just going to be over because, like, you know, we're not even necessarily at the point where we've developed all of our draft picks and everything like that. So I think that's what we're going to do now for some of these, you know, late rebuilds of these teams that are really good, where it's like, hey, you know what, if we win back-to-back right away, I think we're gonna just call it a video right there. So this might be it for this episode. You'll probably tell by how long this video is, so let's go see. Okay, we are in the Super Bowl here, 38-28. We are up by 10, and they are going for this here. I mean, they kind of have to, so let's try to see if we can get something up here. That is going to be thrown up, incomplete. And we are going to come onto the field here and kneel this thing down. I have to... Where is this? Okay. Kneel this thing down. They do have all 3 of their timeouts left. I would be shocked if they used them, but maybe they will. I don't know. And they're not going to... Oh, Brian Dable is going to use his timeouts. Okay. All right. Can he just get to the line under center? This guy is actually going to use his timeouts down 10. Okay. What a twat. I have to say, though, Brian Dable does seem the type of twat down 10 with 16 seconds. Would absolutely use all of his timeouts. So RJ Harvey, you know what? We are just going to take this thing to the house. Going to get a touchdown. And you know what? We're going to call a timeout. We're going to take some time here since we have this pretty much in hand, wrapped up here. Okay. Let's see if we're going to get 2. And we couldn't get that. So try to get in 2 points there. All right. And let's, you know, I'm very annoyed by Brian Dable calling those timeouts. He does seem like a douchebag that would do that, if I'm being honest. This game's over. And he's calling timeouts. So let's go here. Let's try to get another sack here. And we're going to pick that off right there. Intercepted. That's going to do it. That's going to close it out. 44-28. And Darius Slayton gets... I don't know why they're showing Darius Slayton, but either way, we win the Super Bowl back-to-back. 44-28. And I feel like we've beaten Jackson Dart multiple times on this channel, but back-to-back Super Bowls here. Let's go take one final look at this roster here as we go back-to-back here. First 2 years of the rebuild. I don't think there's much of a point to kind of keep going, if I'm being honest. There's just not a reason to keep going. I know that sounds weird. There's just not really a reason to keep doing this. if we're going to win it this easily. So we are going to get this pen out, and we are going to mark off the Broncos right there. Another Super Bowl. So which means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 more teams left to go, and we are making great time. We are making great time on getting every team rebuilt before the draft. That's kind of a weird goal I have put onto myself. 25 of 39 for Bo Nix, 4 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns for RJ Harvey. He had a big 70-yard run, it looks like. And then Troy Franklin with 2 touchdowns. Casey Conception with 2 touchdowns. A touchdown for Brenton Strange. A bunch of targets to a bunch of different players here. And then defensively, 2 sacks for Nick Benito. 1.5 for Zach Allen. Appreciate my phone going off. Savion Jones with a sack. Sheldon Rankins a sack. A half sack for Singleton. And an interception for Brandon Jones to pretty much end it right there. So let's go take one final look at this roster. And yeah. So here is the final team here as we are closing out this rebuild. Gonna end up at an 88 overall here. Bo Nix progressed very well those 2 years. Already up to a 92 overall. Well on his way to probably eventually being a 99. But I feel like his development's slowing a little bit just because of the age there. Already almost 30. Casey Conception. But he is a 89 overall as well. He has played very well his first 2 years for us. 2 Super Bowls. Cortland Sutton getting older. Troy Franklin has played very well for this team as well. Trey'Dez Green looks like he is going to be a serious threat for years to come. This offensive line is in place pretty well. So if we wanted to keep going, we could. Again, if we really wanted to, got Dre Greenlaw here. I believe he is likely beginning to regress a little bit as well. And yes, regression is starting to hit him. So you have that you're dealing with. Still, very good corner room, defensive tackle room. Gonna need some work long term, I think, just because, you know, Zach Allen, I believe he might be starting to regress. Not really. That's interesting. Wonder why defensive tackles don't regress that much. That's very strange. Guess because it's not like a skill position or something? I don't really know, but I've noticed that defensive tackles don't regress that much with age. They mostly stay really good and then they just like retire. But apart from that, this team is still set up to compete, I think, long term, if we wanted to keep going, but I just think it's kind of not worth it to keep going after we've already won 2 Super Bowls back to back. So that is going to do it for this rebuild. Kind of a shorter one, but I like the idea of maybe getting a little short one in. Not every rebuild needs to be... Actually, I have no idea how long this video is, how long I yapped in certain parts, but I doubt it's like an hour and 30. So no need to do that. I hope you enjoyed watching. We have a couple more teams left to go here, and I think we're going to jump back over to the NFC side of things and do that. So I appreciate you watching this rebuild. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one for more Madden 26 rebuilds.